We're going to start up here in the front. It has two vent holes on the front of the unit. The vents from the batteries to the outside of the unit. We also have a 7-way holder that your 7-way holder hooks into when you're not hooked up to your truck. We also have a battery disconnect that is in the on position. You can turn it to the off position, pull the key out, and it will save all the juice that's in the battery for the next time you get out to move the camper up or down. We also have a 12-volt hookup here on the outside so that if the battery's completely dead, you can hook a set of jumper cables to it, to your vehicle, and have the 12-volt going back to the trailer until you get the trailer high enough that you can get it on the truck and hook back to your 7-way cord, which will also put 12 volts back into your batteries. There is a manual way on all 4 jacks that you can crank them up or down. It takes a 3/8 socket and extension to come through the top that will manually crank them jacks up or down for any reason they won't work off the switch. We also have a 30 amp power cord that's plugged in over here to the side. On the cord itself, it has lights indicating what it is. It has a sticker on the side that tells you power is correctly wired for the unit. Hot and neutral reverse if you got a red and green, and if you got a red only, the ground and hot are reversed. But your plug for the cord will tell you one way or another. And as you can see there, we have the green light which says it's wired right, and you're getting 110 to the unit. Right down below that is your freshwater tank fill. The freshwater tank will fill here. I'll show you the drain for it when we get to the inside. We also have a city water connect that you can hook a water hose and regulator to and never have to fill the tank. Work right off the water pressure going to the hose. Your next connection back is the outside of the refrigerator. Refrigerator works 3 ways: 12 volt, 110, and propane. But it also has a little bug catcher here on the outside. Once the refrigerator's made ice in the freezer, you've turned it off, the freezer thaws out and comes down into a tray in the bottom of the refrigerator, and then comes out the end of this white hose here for draining the moisture out of the inside of the freezer. We also have a InstaHeat hot water heater. It has an on and off switch on the outside out here that has to be in the on position for it to work on the inside. It's got more displays on the inside. We'll show you that when we get to the inside of the unit. The unit still has water in it. Outside of the furnace is next. It's going to suck cold air in the bottom and put hot air at the top. I always suggest putting a mud diaper screen over the outside of the furnace cover for the simple fact that that screen is less than 15 bucks. It's $145 an hour for every hour that I have to take the furnace out to clean the mud daubers out of it. So that $15 investment's worth its weight in gold if you ask me. Then we have an outside shower that gives you hot and cold running water out here. We have a 110 outlet for plugging into that is GFI protected by the outlet on the inside. The one right down below that is for the sink to drain out. The cap has to be off while you're watering water in the sink on the inside, and it will drain out off to the side of the vehicle. We have one propane bottle. The lid for the propane bottle has a magnet clip on it that holds it up in position. We've got the valve on the top of the gas bottles already on. I'm going to close it down. We have one more compartment door on the outside that will let you store stuff inside the bed of the truck from the side. As we come around to the back, it has a porch light that you can turn on. For the porch light, I got your running lights on because I'm going to show you the camera when we get to the inside. The camera has to have the red light on it out here for it to be having 12 volt going to it. The way it gets its 12 volt is off of the running lights on the unit. We also have your sewer connection valve here in the back that is for the toilet water only. And you'll want to make sure that valve stays down while you're using it. Take the cap off, pull the valve up, and the nasties will come out the back. We have another compartment on this side over here that will be in the bed of the truck that you can open up and store stuff in it too. And that's basically about it on the outside. You do have your 2 tie downs for the truck. All your jacks have a manual way to crank them up or down. For any reason they won't go off the switch. So we're going to go back and go into the front door. Gonna have to get my key out and unlock the door. As we step up into the unit, it has a little switch here on the wall that you can turn on and off that works the remote control for the jacks and the top. When you first turn it on, it's going to go red. You're going to hold down on the button until it turns green. Once it turns green, you can lift or lower the jacks on all four corners. Go back to the button, hold it down where it's green. When it goes back to the red, then you can do the lowering of the top or raising of the top. But it's red for the 4-post jacks on the side. Once it's turned red, hit the on and off button again until it goes green, and then the top will raise up and down. Has to be charged. It does have a little Velcro strip on the side of the wall that holds it in position, but the green light here has to be on for the 4 jacks on the corners to work, or for the top to go up and down. So we're going to step up into the unit.
Watch your head.
Watch your head. I got the scar to prove that.
Me too.
All the lights on the inside of the unit have to be turned on by hand. They all have a little push button in the center of that for turning them on and off. On the right hand side is where your toilet's at. The locking position here locks that in place. We're going to slide the door over. It has a single foot flush on the front of the toilet. Push halfway down, fills with water. Push all the way down, fills and dumps. And you're going into a 20-gallon tank compared to a 40-gallon tank. So you'll have to dump your black holding tank more often than you would on a bigger trailer. Here again, we're going to slide the door right back over to position. It has a lock magnet on that side over there. The locking mechanism's in the center. It does have a curtain for coming around for privacy. It has a little storage in behind it for toilet paper and other supplies. It does have a working fire extinguisher just inside the door on the left-hand side as we come in. Pretty good sized storage compartment up here at the top. And that storage compartment's got 4 screws in it. The reason for the 4 screws is that accesses you down to your water pump and batteries through the step and the floor. I didn't put the screws back in it. But there is a flat board up here at the top that we're going to bring out. Slides right here in front of the couch, above the bumpers on the side to make a smaller bed. There's a longer cushion that comes out, hits right down in front of it, and a little cushion to make the pillow part up here at the front. So you have a smaller bed down here compared to the master bed. We're going to kick that furnace up and let it run for just a minute. We're going to put the cushions back up on top. We're going to take the board loose. We're going to turn it up, lay it right up on top of the mattress. There is a little black cap in the supplies that goes down into this hole for the table leg to keep you from getting the toe hooked in it and broke. But then the pedestal for the table got a little T-handle on it. Goes down inside the groove there. You're going to twist it tight for your pedestal. Your tabletop's going to come off and go right across the top of that. Clicks into place. 2 people can dine on the table. Table comes up, goes off. Board for the bed comes down, makes it into a bed. Tabletop comes straight up off of it. Slides right up on the mattress. Loosen the pedestal leg up. Slides right up out of the hole. We're going to lay it right back up on the bed. We have a USB port to the right side of the master bedroom. Thermostat for the furnace. We turned the heat up about halfway. With the heat up about halfway, you ought to be able to look right in the front of the furnace, see the blue flame burning inside. We're going to come back to the battery boxes. We're going to lift this up. We're going to take it up out of the way, stick it over to the side. we have the 2 battery boxes in the unit. It only has 1 battery on the unit on this side over here. This side doesn't have nothing underneath it. We have a winterizing hose for winterizing off of this valve here. You'll stick your antifreeze jug down. You'll stick this hose down into your jug, take the cap off the end of it, turn this valve in line with the hose going down to the antifreeze jug. Then when you kick your pump switch on, it will build up pressure, sucks the antifreeze right through the system. You'll want to start with your kitchen sink, hot and cold side, go to your toilet, flush it till you get pink coming out of it. Then you're going to want to go to the outside of the unit, to the outside shower, and make sure that you have pink coming out of both sides of the outside shower, the hot and the cold side. 1 gallon can do the unit, but I always suggest using 2. That way you have more antifreeze in your toilet tank. I'm going to stick that hose back down in there. I'm going to turn that back in the normal operating position, which sucks water from the tank to all the faucets in the trailer. On the tank, you can see the water level on the right hand side. It's 2/3 of the way full. The unit does not have a monitor panel in it, so when you're filling your freshwater tank through your top connection on the outside, you'll want to take the step off, look at the tank while it's filling. Once water gets to the top of the level of it, you'll want to shut water pressure off going to the tank. You can overfill the tank and cause the tank to crack or bust, so you'll want to make sure that you never overfill the tank. This is your pump switch. It turns the water pump on between the freshwater tank and the faucets, and you'll hear it kind of da-da-da. It's not going to do it now because we already built pressure up on it, but we should have pressure going to all the faucets inside and outside of the unit. We have a 110 outlet, GFCI outlet right here beside of it. Yellow light indicates that it is working. That yellow light will turn red when it pops. Should be able to trip it over to that side. It turned red right before it quit. Go back to this side over here, kick it back on, turns yellow, indicate that it's got 110 going to it. Right to the left side of that, we have our carbon monoxide LP detector. For if the trailer would develop a gas leak, you'll hear 1 annoying sound that will not quit. If it is carbon monoxide, you will hear 4 beeps in a row, 2 times in a row.
Still annoying.
Yes, still annoying. Then we got our breaker box right off to the left side of that, and all the breakers are marked from the top to the bottom what they are on the little chart here to the side. And then down here, the chart to the side of that shows you what your 12-volt car fuses go to. That's pretty basic there. We're going to come back to the hot water heater. We turn the switch on the outside on. So we're going to come in here and we're going to turn it on this side in here. Well, maybe I turned it off on the outside. Maybe it was already on. But then you'll see the hot water temperature up here in the corner. You'll see a little fan here indicating that it's got water going through the tank. And you can dial your temperature up or down from that side there. You have 2 little cabinet doors on either side of the kitchen sink. That one there will access you into the water lines going to the sink and the drain line. This side over here is just access underneath the stove. It does have a little catch-all right here at the side for anything flat or fairly thin that you wanted to store in the unit. On your kitchen faucet, to the left side has hot water, to the right side has cold water. You have to lift up on the handle to get water to either side of it. We also have a 110 outlet on either side of the kitchen sink or the stove. I'm gonna go ahead and plug your camera in here in the side while we're in here. I put my jumper wire between the hot post on the 7-way and on the running light section. So all we got to do is come in here, kick the battery on. We're going to turn it back on.
It's Halloween, folks.
Halloween. should come right back
There
on.
it
There we
goes.
go. And that's showing you the camera on the back of the unit going out into the shop. It's only got one camera on the unit, so we're going to go with cam 1. But that is looking from the back of the slide-in truck camper out into the shop. It's a pretty clear picture. It can be adjusted up higher or lower, either way you want it to go. There is an Allen wrench in the side of the camera, the nuts that hold the camera in position. There's a Allen wrench in it, so you could adjust it if you wanted to see farther down or if you wanted to see farther straight out the back. I just wanted to plug it up to show you the camera is working with the running lights working on the unit.
This is a customer added feature. It does not come with the unit.
Yes, the customer added it on. We put the camera on the back. We turned the 7-way lights on so the running lights are working so that we can make sure the camera works. It also has an antenna on the top of this screen and an antenna on top of the camera itself. If you don't have the antennas on there, it won't pick up either. I learned that hard lesson not too long ago. So I'm going to let the camera sit right there. There is several pieces of hardware left in the camera box. You have the old connection that I took off the unit
Because it was prepped.
because it was prepped for this kind of Furion camera. There is other connections, a square one if you want to put the square one on. The holes don't line up with the one that was already mounted to the trailer. We have a cup holder connection that you can put down in your cup holder of your vehicle for holding the monitor screen. We have a cord that plugs into your cigarette lighter that plugs onto the camera screen. We have another set of lockdowns for the camera screen. We have one that mounts to the windshield that your monitor hooks to too. We have 2 sets of the 110 chargers that plug into a 110 outlet for the camera. We have a bigger bracket that goes over the top of the camera to shield it from rain. We have one that you can hardwire in if it's not pre-wired for it. We have some wire connects so that if it's not pre-wired for the camera, you can also turn that on. Here again, we got another set of hardware for the square one. There ain't nothing in that, but we also have a remote for it too.
Oh, cool.
So you can have a remote setting on it. And we also have a sticker that shows that you do have the VisionWorks camera mounted on the trailer. I'm going to leave all that stuff in that section right there for you. We'll slide it back up here on top in a minute. We got 2 sets of keys for the unit. The purple key does the front door lock and deadbolt. The white colored key does your 2 outside compartments in the back. And then your black key does your outside shower. There's 2 sets of keys for the unit. This is your little plug that covers your tow hole in the table pedestal. Keep you from getting the tow broke off. And then all the rest of the paperwork that's in the unit was in this brown bag right here. And it does have quite a bit in it. Also has paper towel holder, a second remote for the landing jacks on the top in case you lose the one that's back there.
Smart.
Took me forever to find the first one. You do have a toilet paper holder. It's not mounted in the unit. Didn't know if you was right-handed or left-handed. We also have a manual crank handle that is really kind of useful for this one, since this is for the old style jacks that you have to crank up and down by hand. You have the electric ones on it. The handle was already in the package, so I just went ahead and left it in there. And then all the rest of it is the paperwork on all the appliances in the trailer. Several things on there: regulator, air conditioners. One of the most important pieces of paper in this package is the data sheet for the appliances. It tells you who made it, what the brand name is, model, and serial number of the appliances that's in the unit. I took a picture of that on my laptop when I serviced the trailer. So if you come back to me and I have to ask you for a model or serial number, I can always go back to my laptop and look at it to see which one that you actually have in the unit. We're going to come up to the refrigerator next. Refrigerator works 3 different ways. It has an on and off button. Usually when you turn it on and you're plugged into electric, it'll automatically go to the auto setting, and then it goes down to the 110 section over here on the side. There's DC for your battery, there's AC for your 110, and it also has a gas button. If you want it off of electric or battery and onto gas, you hit the gas button till the light comes down to where it says gas. It will light on gas. I did take a picture of the refrigerator burning on the outside when it was in the gas position. If for any reason your gas is not on and it does not kick on gas, this little check light right here in the center will come on, indicating that it did not light on gas. Sometimes if you've had the bottle off and put the bottle back on, sometimes you have to light the kitchen stove for it to actually pull the gas up so that the refrigerator will kick on gas automatically. We also have a thermostat control over here to the side from 1 to 5, what you can set the refrigerator for on the inside. I run it on 3 when I had it in the unit. It's on 4 now. All you got to do is hit the button, take it back over to where it says 3. It skipped right past 3 again, so we're going to go right back to it. Hit it on 3. You should want it to freeze your stuff in the top of the freezer section, up in here. But you don't want it to freeze your milk and stuff down in the bottom. So I'd run it at about 3. If you're in a hurry to cool the refrigerator down, crank it all the way up to the 4th connection. That just makes it get colder in there quicker. Once it's that way, if you got something in the bottom that's freezing, run it back down to about 3 and you should be good to go. It's quite a bit of storage in the little refrigerator. Not much of a freezer section, but enough that you can put some pork chops or some steaks or something in there for while you're going. We do have hand controls on the AC. We're running the compressor wide open. It does not have the heat option strip in it for the red side. That's an option you could add to it later. If you didn't want to run the furnace, you could run the heat strip in the air conditioner. It has a fan only side over here. And it has a red dot for the heat strip, which it doesn't have. Then you have your low, medium, and high on your cool side. It has 4 connections coming off the AC that it vents to. We're going to go ahead and turn that back down. We have a very important, fantastic fan up here in the front. Not only will it pull cold air in from the windows to that, it actually helps you close the top down, turn the fan on, open the vent up, turn the fan on, and when you go back to your remote control back here, that lowers the top. If the fan's sucking air through there, when the top starts coming down, it pulls the sides of the canvas in so that you don't have to keep running around tucking it in and here, there, down yonder. You can run it almost all the way down closed. Then once it's within 2 to 3 inches of being closed, then come and push in on your canvases to make sure it all goes in before the top comes down. Leaving the fan running, once you got it all the way down, you still have room to come in here, turn the fan off, and crank the vent back down with the top down. You do have a little storage on either side of the bed, clothes, maybe an extra pillow or something like that. But when you go back up here to the top, the zippers in the unit have to be all the way up for them to be watertight. You got the vinyl screen on the inside and you have the screen on the outside. But for them to be watertight, all the zippers have to go all the way up to the up position. And I like to bring them to where it's almost right dead center of the center. Then you also have your curtain on the inside. You take the Velcro strips loose, lets the curtain flow down to cover it off so nobody can see you getting dressed on the inside of the unit. There is also the U's hanging in the ceiling. You got a extra little cloth rack that hangs here. You have a cloth rack that hangs over here for your cooking supplies. And you have another one over here to the side for extra clothing storage. Them are all in the bags right there. When you're bringing the trailer down, you're bringing the top down, those bags have to come off because the bags will hang down this far underneath the hooks. So when you're bringing the top down, anything that you have in the bags will get crushed as it comes down. So them 3 bags have to come off before you lower the top. We also have 2 lights up in the bed area that you can push by hand. A little push button in the center for turning them on and off. We also have a smoke detector in the unit that makes that little annoying sound, which the carbon monoxide and LP detector is even worse than that. But we also have a vent as just as we come in the door. The black handle, I don't know if I can reach it or not, pulls down, opens up, little black button turns the fan on for while you're using the bathroom area. Not that your stuff stinks, but you're going to pull it back up here and close it off.
In case it does.
In case it does. But that is basically everything on your unit. The reason I didn't put the screws back in the steps here is because I wanted to show you the access to the water tank, your batteries. One more thing to show you before we walk away from the batteries. Right down here by the pump, there is a T-handle right here that is the drain for the fresh tank to let the water out of the tank. That little T-handle is right there.
Okay.
But that is how you'll drain the freshwater tank. This is the little slider window I showed you up front when we was looking at the front of the unit. Got a little handle on it that pulls down, slides open for ventilation, closes back up, pushes back up out of the way. We do have a little storage here on either side above the step. So we'll go ahead and shut that furnace back off. But that is basically everything on your stove top. So here again, I'm going to take and unplug your camera. We'll put it back up here in the box. On your stove top, you lift the glass stove top up out of the way. Has two buttons on it. You're going to turn it to where it says light. And you're going to light with a long lighter match. You're going to turn them right back off. Before you lay the tempered glass back down over the top, you'll want to touch the griddle to make sure that it's not touched to the hand before you bring the glass stovetop back down on it. That's basically everything on your trailer. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them the best that I can. And thank you for your time.